can
What?
cut we can start.
Okay.
I feel like AD should also do the intro because he's very good at that bit. The
Is it?
podcast, yeah. He's very good at it.
What's it even called?
It's even this.
Tiger Talk.
Tiger Talk.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Tiger.
Does it have a name? It's like we got five. We got 5 listeners. That's all.
5? Hey, trust me, I'm about to cut your audience.
No, we hope you're
be
gonna
fine.
build some audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we had at Whitehart CrossFit, and we were visiting Barnaby at his gym, and we just fortunate to get a few minutes with you, man.
For Tiger Talk, right?
For Tiger Talk.
Rawr.
That's all right. Tiger Talk.
I only wanted to do that, basically. I've been saying, as soon as I heard that, I was like, I've got to do a little purr. I can't purr, so.
All right, so I mean, obviously, a lot of these people will know you, but some might not know you. So, do you want to just give us a quick background as to how long you've been in CrossFit and what you've been up to?
Been in CrossFit for 11, 12 years. Got into it when I was training at a fight school down in Brighton, and they started a CrossFit class. And the guy that owned the place told me I should give it a go and come check it out. And I was a bit skeptical. And his words to me were, "You've got to come and check it out because the trainer's really fit." And so I was like, sold. I'll get up at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
I'll get up at 6 a.m. and come check this out. And I did. And she was very fit. And I ended up marrying her. And then I loved the class as well, and so I loved it, got into it, and the more I did, the more I loved it. It was like compared to everything else I'd done previous to that, training wise, it was like a total revelation. Because it offered so many different things in a totally, what can we say, an unclassical style.
Yes.
So I absolutely loved it, got into it, and that led me on a fitness journey. I went off to Austin to see some guys at Monkey Bar Gym, and did a cert with them and learnt from them, and then I came back and then went and did CrossFit Level 1 and loads of stuff like that. So it all kind of rolled in and kicked off. So about 11, 12 years.
11, 12 years. Where's your flow master at level 1?
Well, so my first Level 1 was during the... God, we're going back away now. I'm only 30, but when I was in my teens...
All right,
no, so way back when, that was when, I don't know, you guys might not remember, you should. There was a volcano in Iceland.
Yes.
And it's grounded flights.
Yes.
Across like the whole of the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
And
that
was that weekend, a load of the American flow guys couldn't get over. So we had, I think we originally had 2 had made it over because they'd come early because they wanted to spend some time in London. So they'd turned up early and there was no one else. So basically they got all of the UK level 2s. And back then, the level 2, nobody can complete it. It had like a 90% fail rate because it was so hard. Yes. So they got all the level 2s that were around. So we had Stephen Haydock Bradshaw. We had, I'll probably say his last name wrong. We had Carl Stedman. We had Miles from Hove. So loads of those people that and they asked them to come in and help out. And so that was like, that then, kicked in from them getting involved in being more involved and more doing stuff. But they all had to come in like last minute because loads of people got left out.
So that's legit. And if Carl was in level 2, was he
back
level
then?
2 back then?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. So that was cool. So and Jamie Teekson from Thames.
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn.
So you've been in the space.
That was way back.
You've been in the space. So what is it? 12 years. It's a long time. What are significant things that you've seen changes in CrossFit? I mean, that's a big question and it's a huge one to unpack. But if you would just...
How long's this podcast?
Let's just for interest's sake, because a lot of people watching this thing have only been doing CrossFit for maybe 5 years. Let's say in the last 5 years, and I know there's been huge changes in 5 years. Stuff like, have you ever met
I think like changes in that period of time is, it went from still being kind of underground and still being... looked at as dangerous and crazy, because also way back then, you're talking about the creation of CrossFit and its growth kind of goes hand in hand with the explosion of the internet and more and social media and worldwide comms, if you want, because people were posting up more stuff. And I think back then, a lot of the stories you wouldn't see so many positive stories. You'd see a lot of stories of I got rhabdo, you know, and it's almost like it's all and like you could almost say that was early day fake news, you know, because when you went back and looked at how they got that or what the actual story was, it was never like it. But so it still had that it was deep and gnarly and dirty and underground and super hardcore, and you know, it was dark garages and little units and stuff. And it's gone from that and being, you know, only being maybe 65, 70 locations in the UK that you could do it, and hardly anywhere like in France or Europe, to being, I can't even remember what we're at now, 300, 400 plus in the UK. That's crazy. You know, and so and then getting more mainstream and being accepted. You know, it went from every other kind of form of training style slamming us and pissing all over us to actually becoming legit, mainstream, accepted, understood, and in that process revolutionizing everybody else's training. You know, the people that shout about how much they hate CrossFit and how awful it is actually adopt loads of the stuff that it opened up into the marketplace, you know. And let's be honest, single-handedly has turned Olympic lifting from a dying sport. It reignited it and has brought loads of people, especially female lifters. You know, girls that would never have thought that they would move weight. It's fantastic. So it's done so much for liberating people and moving it forward. So that's the biggest thing I see. And then within, you know, CrossFit in HQ itself, it's got to be the invention of the games and how that has gone from working essentially in Dave Castro's backyard to arena style events and the competition that's then spurned. You know, you've got the European Championships, you've got Strength in Depth, you know, in London, a huge arena in Excel and massive competitions, and look at the growth that spurred. You know, and people getting into it as an actual sport.
So I mean, like there's a lot to unpack. From competition wise, because you're but you run competitions and you help.
I have, and I now help out a lot at comps, and I have competed in a few, but
Tell
us
about that. Give us the lowdown, the profile.
I'd like to categorically say I am not an elite athlete, and I don't class myself as an athlete in any way, shape, or form. But
you just turned 35 though.
33 and
actually not. You're not the masters yet.
So my masters wise, I'm just ahead of like Spieler and stuff. So I always see it that every time I hit a new age category, that's my 1 year to try and do something. And I think I hype it up so much, always end up injuring myself before that year comes. So I'm like, I miss my window every time. But so competed in the Athens Throwdown, finished that in the top 10.
That's great.
It was probably my best comp, my best event. It was great fun. But I love getting involved in the community. So that's why I kind of got into competitions, and I started off by judging, and then by hosting our own internal ones, and then hosting larger ones. So we started with Emma Dean, created the British Teen Championships, and then that spurned with her mum. We spurned the Masters Championships, you know, and so we grew that comp, and that's got bigger and better every year. I haven't been involved for the last couple of years just because. Doing my other bits, and then those kind of things lead into getting involved in Tribal Clash and getting involved in SID, and that's kind of gone from judging to working more back of house, and then helping to plan and helping to organise and logistics, and you know. So hopefully this year I've got a big one coming up with the European Champs. So working with Carl to help deliver that and make sure everything happens on the day and runs. And I really enjoy that because it kind of my background before I got into #fitness was in catering. So I was a professional chef. So it's delivering a service, and I've always quite enjoyed delivering experiences and servicing. So you get that with cooking food and, you know, delivering a meal and a special evening for someone. That kind of translates into, rather than it being a table of 6 or 90 people over a course of a dinner, you're suddenly going into doing arenas and putting on events for 500-600 people and trying to watching people and encouraging them and seeing them do better. And that's that for me is absolutely brilliant. I think CrossFit, you know, that's the unsung part of, you know, the small competitions and the throwdowns, and you can go, you know, turf games or battle for middle ground, like they're not hard enough, but they are, because they all feed into larger ponds, you know, bigger ponds, bigger comps. Confidence, so it all, you know, in-house, you know, you might go, oh, it's just an in-house comp, but that in-house comp is somebody's first experience of, you know, doing something under pressure. You know, you go, right, you know, like our workout today is meant to be short and sharp, and you go, right, and you're drumming that into them. You've got to go fast, you've got to go hard. I want you to feel sick afterwards, and saying, I want you to feel horrible afterwards, because this is the impetus, this is what we're looking for. Then you go, okay, we're going to, instead of doing that, we're actually going to have someone sit and watch you and count your reps. And that's suddenly that whole, that's when a different type of butterflies come into your stomach. And you're like, oh shit, and then they do that and they go, oh wow, I can actually do it. And if I can do that, maybe I could have a go at this. So they go for a novice comp, or they go for something like Inferno Pairs, where they can team up with their mate and do it.
That's it.
And then all of a sudden they go, I feel I want to do more, and it drives them on, and that's great. You take people to places they never thought possible, you know. And we had that recently with our New Year's Eve thing. We did something with non-profit.
That was great.
Yeah, so the guys at non-profit over in the States, which was Mark Dwight and Michael Blevins, we hooked up with them, and we all did the 12-hour endurance, Dante's Inferno, you know, 10 calories, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then back down the other side in teams of 3. So everybody had to do 10 ski, 10 row, 10 bike, back, 20, 20, 20.
For 12 hours?
For 12 hours.
Wow.
And there are a few tears. There are a few people that like, and interesting. And it was interesting enough. It was only in the last like 3-4 hours that people are like, I can't go on, and they're crying and getting really emotional. Yeah. But everybody did it. Everybody pulled forward. Everybody finished it. And they a lot of the people in that just turned around and went, I never thought I could do something like that.
That's awesome.
Never thought I had that in me, the ability. And that, you take that and you take it and you put it out in the real world.
Yes.
You know, you can almost, you know, to degrees, you can almost argue that your CrossFit box and training in that kind of style is the last vestige that we have in our modern era of facing hardship in the Western world. You know?
Yeah.
And because a lot of people, you have everything. You got heating, you've got your food there, you have everything you need straight away. So actually getting put under pressure and pushing yourself hard is humans need it. We need bad things to happen. We need something hardships. We need something to fight against. And really not winning the lottery and not being famous on Instagram isn't really a hardship. You know, not being able to have McDonald's isn't a hardship. You know, we like to scream about it, but it's not, you know, not being able to drive a flash car isn't a hardship, because you still have a fucking car and you can you have a roof over your head. And so this is a place where people can actually push themselves and they've never had to before. And it opens up the ability that they go, actually, I can do more. I can do better outside of these 4 walls. And that's the kind of driving force behind it. That's what I want out of everybody that comes in here. I want people to turn up that want to be here. If you don't want to be here, you don't want to do the work, don't come in. But I want you to be here, and I want you to do your best that you can every time, and just push that little bit more so that you realize that you're capable of way more than you thought you were. And maybe you don't just go home and sit and do nothing, but you go home and go, I want more. I want to do more. I want to expand myself and grow
take yourself where you haven't been before.
And that's what we push for here, or we try to.
No, well, I mean, that's great.
Delusionally, maybe, but you know.
No, I think that's fantastic. I really like your setup. I like the little touches everywhere.
The chandelier.
You like the chandeliers? Yeah.
Listen, it's a
and the disco ball.
Yeah, it's a unique box. I've never in my life. I've been to 1 or 2, but
and our wall of artwork. That's
I like it, man. I like. What was the inspiration, or did you just kind of go with it? Was it kind
of if you ask my partner Murray, he'll probably just say that it was. I might have been eating something, but
I like the bike.
battleship grey, and there's certain colorways that are done. They've done, and we wanted it to be light, and we wanted it to be different and kind of stay sharp and crisp. Like we look around, like the other day I've looked over there in my handstand wall. I don't understand how, but after wall walks I have 2 massive handprints going up my wall in chalk. Like I don't understand how hands were on the wall when it was wall walks. Like, maybe they were. Honestly, let's be all like. If anyone else is like, as a coach wise, everybody knows you. Everything you say at the whiteboard, 30 seconds after you've said it, nobody knows what the fuck you said. Anyway. That's why they're asking, what actually are we doing? Squatting for the 50th time. So maybe they did wall walks the other way round, or highly dyslexic like I am, and who knows? So we want to keep it sharp, and we want to keep it bright. So we'll paint those. We'll wash them, and if they don't, we'll go around and paint bits like every couple of Saturdays and cover up chips and marks so it stays looking fresh and nice. We wanted it to be bright and continually kind of welcoming, and a place that we wanted to train and didn't mind spending all day, every day in. Because there were always bits in there, and that's kind of reason behind the artwork as well. It's there for you to think. We want you to use your brain. There's pictures up there that ask a question or mean things in different ways, and so that's the whole point. It's not just using your muscles, but using the big brain muscle in your head. To try and think about stuff as well as just do as you're told when you lift weights.
No, I love it. I love coming to different places. It inspires us to kind of. I mean, you're clean. It's neat. Tidy.
The floor, can I just say, the mats.
It's good. It's very good. All right, so I'm going to ask you the big question because
I'm 5'8".
Our viewers want to know.
I'm wearing a base layer. Got blonde hair at the moment.
Like long walk to the beach.
And romantic evenings by hot fireplace.
So all 5 of our viewers want to know. Is what do you make of the Dave Castro situation? What is
Mr. Castro.
Have you ever met him?
I've met Castro and Greg at the games.
Wow, okay.
Not to sit and spend any quality time with. I mean, I would love to have, especially with Greg, but never had that opportunity. Castro's an interesting one. I don't know. You kind of skirt in with the Glassman thing whenever you kind of bring up Dave, and I think the whole thing is a bit of a victim of our kind of instant reaction culture, and not and also people say things as a soundbite or just say things out there. I do it. I say things, but my thought process in my head. They don't know what I was thinking that's brought that about, if that makes sense. And there's a really tenuous link, but we have a member called Michelle, right? And when she came in, she got the name Baywatch. Okay, and I called her Baywatch, and I was like, why are you fucking calling her Baywatch? I was like, well, it's Michelle, and Michelle is Mitch, and Mitch is Mitch Buchanan from Baywatch, so that's her name. Obviously. Right? Obviously. Jesus, like, why do I have to explain this to you? So, but that was what went through my head, So you can see when you start thinking in that sense how sound bites come out and stuff gets misconstrued. And I think with Dave, after Greg had gone, CrossFit is in a period of change. It is. They've got they've brought in country managers, which are a fantastic addition. Then they've brought in an international manager, and there's layers to that. So there's actually more communication between affiliate owners and HQ itself, and more communication, and there's kind of not help where they interfere, but there's help, or it feels like there's stuff out there. Definitely. But within that process, with Eric now in charge, I think that you're looking at a businessman. Rather than like you and me that go, I really love this, I want to get into it, I want to inspire people. You're suddenly going, I did that and I love it, but also I run a business. And I think that's what a lot of affiliate owners go through. And that's the difference between growth and staying the same. And it's not a problem to stay if you just want to carry on doing what you do and have 150 members and you love the community and you build it. But some people want to push and grow, and they want 300 and they want 400 and they want to go from a 500 square foot facility into a 550 1,000 square foot facility. They want to get big, or they want to have multiple sites. So I think CrossFit's going through a change now where it's becoming more of an actual business and a company and a corporation. And that's not a bad thing, but with that, changes come. You know, and we can see that, you know, for the games to run, the games needs money.
Yeah.
You know, it's a money pit.
Yeah.
You know, you run a comp, everyone knows, you know, everyone seems to think if you run a comp that you're putting hundreds of thousands in your back pocket. And I can tell you firsthand, knowing a few big comp owners and working very close with them, that is not the case. And it takes a lot of work to find sponsorship. It's not out there. It's not just, they, you know, you don't just go, hey, Red Bull, can you sponsor this? Oh yeah, sure. Here's 200 grand. No, it doesn't happen. There's a lot of stuff that has to go into that. So I think that that's the direct CrossFit is becoming more of a company and having to streamline and make things work and catch up with corporate culture. You know, there needs to be accountability and you can't just call people names and do stuff because it's a proper business. So I think with those changes, things have to move around and change a bit. And I don't know what happened. I have absolutely no idea at all. But I would say from the outside that this is a guy that created the games, created a load of the CrossFit training, created amazing things for it. But maybe the business is shifting in a way that he necessarily didn't want it to or didn't want to happen. I know from like my experience running a kitchen, how I ran a kitchen, this is how it's done. This is what I expect. This is what I want. And then when you suddenly, you know, let's say I'm a head chef and exec chef comes in, he wants it run differently. There's no, this is what I've done for 12 years.
This is what I want.
Shut up, I know what I'm doing. And then, oh, hold on, actually, all the new management have decided they want different stuff. So I think there's probably a little bit of that in there, and who knows? But that's just speculation. That's all just off the top of my head, you know. But I think there's more layers. It's not just as simple as you did something or you said something. I think there's a lot of stuff in there, and there's a lot of history, and everything's changing. You know, they've now you've got the programming that CrossFit offer. You've got the affiliate manual that they've brought out to try and help with financing and stuff. So they're trying to put stuff out. It's changing, and everything has to change because if it doesn't, you just die. You just get left behind. You know,
It's so true.
you know, you become a gym group. There's machines, come in, do what you want, leave again.
That's
you know,
that's what
your gym, your programming, it needs to evolve. You know, if you could essentially, if you wanted, you could say, right, we've been open 4 years or we've been open 5 years. Well, we'll just take all the programming and start back at again. We'll start back at the beginning, and we've got fuck this. We've got 4 years worth of programming. Why bother doing anything? But if you did that, you know, you would never do anything different. You just get stuck in a pattern, and you'd be those people that you see that, you know, go to Tesco's on a Wednesday, and that's when they buy this shopping, and then they go to this coffee shop, and then they buy this brand of toilet paper, and they only you know, it's a pork pie on a Tuesday for lunch. And, do you know what I mean? You become set in your way, and that's death right there. That's stagnation and death, and that's why you drop off the radar and become gone. And they're a business that has to change because there's affiliates paying them money, and that's. They need to keep doing that. They need to keep training people. They need to keep everything moving. You know, it's a society and the world we live in.
No, what I mean, when you spoke about the grungy start of CrossFit and how you just can't say what you just can't let stuff fly off the cuff anymore. It's kind of where it's at.
In your box you can.
In your box,
I quite happily tell people to fuck off and you know, they're an arsehole and make way inappropriate comments all the time. But that's my humour and that's me, and that's your box. It's done in humour, but you know, it's not dark and it's not gringy. You know, some of the bars are rusting, but that's because an arsehole left one in the rain. But you know, you have to evolve. Everything comes lighter, everything comes fresher. You know, if you thought 5 years ago, even 5 years ago, would you think there's fridges and there, you know, you'd want a digital TV screen up for people to do stuff, you know, you would be like, God, no. But now it is, and now it changes. You know, we've got neon lights in here. What? You know, these things change. You're trying to change with the times and keep up and keep relevant and keep yourself interested in doing what you're doing. You know, so read different books, educate yourself.
And how? Okay, this is a good question. As an affiliate owner, a 12-year veteran of the game, how do you keep yourself relevant in this space?
I think I've spent my life being irrelevant anyway, so that's okay. You know, a bit slightly casual, nihilistic, outview. I think you just have to. You keep yourself relevant. You have to keep yourself interested in what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's trying new things. That's doing new things. That's, if you want to take CrossFit at its base, for me, it was all about you take what works and you dismiss what doesn't work. Yeah. And so that leaves you a massive broad range of things to do. So that is read new things, look at new things, come up with new ideas, try putting things in, you test it all yourself.
Yes.
Did it entertain me? Did I enjoy it? Was there any benefit to it? Yeah. And then you pass that information on, or that knowledge on, and that's going off and doing another course, or, it doesn't have to be a course. That could be going out and visiting another box and just spending a day there and talking to an owner. Yeah. That's, the new, relatively new head of international, Daniel Shafi, I got to spend a weekend with him years ago, and that was like a light bulb in my head. Just talking to him, just having a conversation. And then you're like, holy shit. And so I regularly, try and catch up with other owners and other people. And that's why I also love competitions, because you get to see other athletes and you meet other owners. And you get little snippets and little stuff, and it all just comes in like Flow State. Luke at Flow State, he puts out really interesting things, and you just think, I've never thought of that before. I never looked at it that way, or maybe I'm missing a bit. Paul Warrior, people think he's doing some crazy stuff, but actually you look at it and go, he's pioneering. He's pushing into new areas. He's trying to digitalize stuff, because that's essentially a way in the future, and so you look at those people and I find that really interesting. So learn, talk to them. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. I love that, like Warrior, he did a thing for like refugees. It's like free membership. Come in. If you were a refugee, you could come and train at his gym for free. Wow. Yeah, and he had a special class time, I believe. I might have some of these facts wrong, but he had a special class time and they could come in and train for free. And that was like, that's fucking amazing. Me now, I'm out in the middle of the countryside in the middle of nowhere. I've got stray cats. I don't have, luckily. But, if I was back in Brighton, if I was back in a city, wow, what a thing to offer, because you're giving something back. You talk about doing community, but what are you offering to better yourself and better people around you, and that's why it's like with members, you talk to members. You're having trouble at the moment, if you're having trouble, you can come. This is a refuge, come and hang out here all day. Or what can we do? We got a couple of members that they're like, I'm struggling, I can't pay, don't worry about it, come in, just come and train, we'll give you a month's free. I'm not making millions, but I don't, at the same time, I'm with you. I want you to come in, because this keeps you doing something and it keeps your brain engaged. And, I've been there. I can remember being in London. I didn't have a job. I was broke. I was, I'd come back. I found a tin of duck confit and I'd bought a packet of Ryvita, and that was it. That was literally all I had for a week and a bit until I managed to get some money. And so I was just eating. I was eating in the morning some duck fat spread on a Ryvita. And then in the afternoon, I'd have half of the duck leg on some Ryvita. And that was it. And I stretched that for a week. Wow. And then I managed to get a little bit of temp work, and that got me a little bit of food. And then, you go through rough times. And I don't want, if you can help anyone doing something, what a great way to do it,
So on that, we talked about CrossFit going digital, or not CrossFit, but training going digital and all this stuff. Do you think what we do as affiliates is going to be relevant in 10 years' time?
Whoosh. That's interesting. Yes and no. I think that depends upon where our society wants to go in the next 10 years. Okay. And that's a big, given current political global situation. There was this thing happened a couple of years ago that's fucked everything. I think it's gonna play into how that works. And I think that actually I think gyms, and especially CrossFit gyms or functional fitness, I hate the word functional fitness now. It's like fucking gastropubs. It's over a totally burnt out, used thing, and everyone became it. But I think those style trainings where you have a community, you have a group of people, even a boot camp outside, if you have a community within it. So buy a community, they stay and do other stuff, or they do stuff outside of it. You know, people meet up and go for dinner and shit. Where you have a community, I think that's essential, because you're keeping to some degrees a fabric of society and interconnection with fellow human beings alive. Because I feel outside, I do feel daily wedges are being driven between people and society and groups, and it's almost, you know, everything now to varying degrees, depending on, you know, is has a point of contention to it, you know, and it is that, like, you know, oh, I like oranges, and you go, oh, what about fucking mangoes? You know, well, you don't like mangoes. You're a mangoist, and you're like, what? No, I just said I like, you know. But I think that's a small part of society, but it's got a very loud voice at the moment because it plays into political speech. So I think we are relevant, and we become relevant because I think we help keep interconnection between people and different types of people alive. Because you come in here and it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter who you are. You know, you come in here, I don't care what colour you are. I don't care what clothes you wear. I do. If you have muddy shoes, fuck off. Right? But change them or go barefoot. But I don't care what you wear. I don't care, you know, how your hair is. I don't care if you are a him or a her or a them or a they or some other, I don't know, you know, some other thing.
No, you're welcome.
It's fucking irrelevant. You come in here and we all train. And we all do CrossFit, and I will teach you to squat, and I will push you harder than you've been pushed before, and I will open new avenues and hopefully make you realize you can do way more than you thought you could before. And you leave here going, that was actually quite awesome. And then you come back again. And that's what I want. I don't care about anything else. You know, if you have a problem, I'm happy to talk to you about anything you want to talk about. But when you're in here, there's no, you know, I don't even think about it. You come in and do it, and I think that's where we will stay relevant, because we're going to keep that, and people will come for that.
No, that's cool.
And so in 10 years' time, we might have moved more digital. Maybe we're doing more virtual classes. You know, maybe we'll have a CrossFit version of Peloton. You know, we did think about it in lockdown. If we had better internet connection, we're thinking, can we stream our classes? You know, can we make it where we take a class, and while we're taking a whiteboard brief, we've got 10 people in the room and we've got 30 people at home watching it, you know? And then we're 3, 2, 1, go. Everyone in here is doing it, and everyone at home's also doing it as well. I can see that as a way forward, as a digitalizing of your class. So you could also have, you know, you can have a digital membership and a in the real membership, if you like. You know, that one's £35 a month, this one's £65 a month. You know, because you're not there. Can't give tactile cues, you know, you've got to supply your own kit. But I can see that being, you know, it's like Gusto. You know, you order your dinner and it gives you a beef stew, but you get a box that has everything in it. Everything's already cut up, everything's pre-portioned and weighed. You follow the instructions and make it. That technically will always be cheaper than you come into my restaurant and me having to make it for you, because the same manpower isn't. I can see that as a way. I can't see us being totally irrelevant. We're in one of the few industries, I think this, cooking and like hairdressing, are something that can't be automated. Because you need a personal touch. You need that interaction.
I think more than ever, I think we will, you know, you're gonna have to pivot. You're gonna have to change some stuff. But I think more than ever, you're gonna be a oasis for a lot of people. Because coming together as a community, like you say, and fitness being the thing that pulls you together, and doesn't matter who you are, what you've done,
and it doesn't matter how, you know, whether you're the fastest person in the room or the slowest person in the room, you're all in it doing the same thing. So there's that kind of bond, and a lot of people don't experience that anywhere else. You know, you don't necessarily get that in an office, because you're doing different roles and doing different things, and you know, you hate accounting, and accounting hates human resources, and human resources hates the secretaries. You know, it's as much as we're all one team here, guys. Fuck off! I'm not going for a drink with them afterwards. You know, CrossFit. So, but within the gym, you try and keep it all moving. That said, when you start getting bigger, problems, you know, things start getting harder. But that's where, as an affiliate owner, or as someone, if you're a manager or whatever else, you're trying to keep the fabric together. Like I know when I had Reebok CrossFit Connect, we had 300 and something members, and most of my time when I wasn't coaching, most of my time was going around and connecting with the WOD class, connecting with the open gym, connecting with the gymnastics people, and reminding everybody that they're all interlinked. And I suppose to a degree, myself and the coaches, when we did that, became the common bond to keep the different factions. So, you got one group doing built by Burger Van programming, you got one group doing, the athlete program, you got one group doing this, and actually you're all doing the same thing. So shut the fuck up. All right. You're all being happy. And you know what? WOD class are actually doing the same shit you're doing. We're just getting taught how to do it properly rather than doing it badly in the corner on your own. So, and actually going hard because someone's chasing them, not you going, oh, that wasn't so bad. That's because you did it in twice the amount of time than the workout was meant to take. That's because you took a 5-minute workout and made it 15. But there you go. You want to do that, go and do it in the corner. That's fine. But you go round and you go round and make sure you're interconnecting and you keep that together. And so you kind of become the bond and the bit of the glue. So that you just got to keep an eye on that when you get bigger, because that's when you get fragmenting. But you can still keep everybody together. There's always going to be ruffles and feathers, and, the ripples, people getting their knickers in a twist about different stuff. But that's what you're there for, to keep it all moving. Kind of become a people manager.
Well, that's it. So 2022 for your gym, for your members, what's it look forward to? What do you guys? Is this a big year for you?
The most important thing is the CrossFit Open coming up. There you go. So all 3.5 of you listeners out there, make sure you go and sign up for that.
We're going to push this thing on,
because that's because that's a great thing. It's a great test. It's a great it's a way to do Friday night throwdowns.
Cool.
And create a super spreader event. I mean to create a community event. Friday night throwdowns, and unfortunately it's in our bloody winter, so we can't do barbecues quite so much, but it's a way to create and give people metrics and give them an understanding of how well they're doing, and their first taste of actually competing outside of an actual competition. So pushing the CrossFit Open is going to be very exciting, and then just growing our membership a bit. Putting the numbers out there, putting the message out there more. I mean, we haven't done a lot of advertising yet.
No,
we've kind of wanted to be organic. I don't really want 20 people to sign up in a month. Because we're not big. We're 100 and something people. I want it to drip feed and build and build as a nice slow thing, because then you integrate everybody and you keep everybody on the same page and keep everyone together and create that nice feeling, rather than coming into a class and going, I don't know anyone in here, they're all new, who the hell is this? And that freaks older members out. You can't forget about your original founder members. They've got to be dragged along with the changes as well. And so that's also quite important, is to continually push and challenge them mentally, so that they don't go, I liked it in the olden days. I remember when you first opened, it was so much better then. No, it fucking wasn't. It's just because it was only you. So, because you were one of 2 members. That's why. Shut up. Come on.
Well, listen, I want to also just ask you, tell us about this.
Yes.
Organics. Ooh, organics.
It's not a plug, but I'm intrigued though. Have you ever seen Liver King?
Yeah, I know Liver King.
So I've seen Liver King, right?
Oh, way better. Let's be honest, Liver King, they have to buy their meat from somewhere else, because none of the American meat's clean. There's more steroids in American meat than you get in a WWE wrestler. Jesus. I never say that. There's that allegedly. Don't want to get sued. No. This is a brand I'm hopefully we'll be launching this year with a friend of mine, James from WeMove. Fantastic information resource if you want to look at WeMove. And we're launching that. So in January lockdown, I basically spent most of that grinding up beef organs and making pills. It looked like a Breaking Bad meth factory in here. It's all grass-fed, grass-finished, organic, regen farm beef organs. Put it in freeze-dried, and put it into a pill. So it's a good little supplement, a natural supplement, rather than taking.
So how many of these bad boys do I take a day?
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Yeah, or all of them. Depends how much you are. Depends how much. And also, so I'm very much, thanks to Erin Blevins from Non-Profit as well. I love the carnivore diet. I think it works really well for me. I feel great on it. But goddamn, I hate organ meat. Like beef heart, chop it up and I can have a stew or put it in a burger. A little bit of liver, I could put that into a burger mix and make a burger with it in. Yeah. A lot of flavour, but to actually eat a lump of liver, that texture. Bad childhood memories of school dinners of like basically boiled bits of liver and stuff, and no, I just can't get it past my lips. But if you look at animals in the wild, to which we actually are animals to a degree, they eat the organ meat first. If you gave a lion a choice between a liver or a fillet steak, he'll eat the liver because there's way more nutrients in that, and it's incredibly nutrient dense. But I hate eating it. So I think these are great because they're a great way of getting that nutrients in without actually having to eat a lump of liver. You're swallowing the raw product, so nothing's been kind of destroyed out of it. And you don't have to eat a lump of liver, which also smells horrific.
No, I like that. Listen, the panel here, you guys have been so talkative. Do you have any questions?
We've been listening. We've been soaking it.
Soaking.
You know what I'm saying? It's 12 years experience right there.
That's it, bro. Well, you're going to have to sit for
I don't know about experience. 12 years of talking shit.
I got a last question. Last question is, okay, you've been around a lot of comps.
Yep.
You've been to the games, the whole shebang. Best athlete you've ever when in live seen move.
Wow. Oh, that's
a good question.
That's really good. That's really hard as well.
Yeah, okay, mate.
You know what? Spieler. I'm
Really?
going to go for a guy, Spieler. He's really fastidious with his movement and his training, and I just think, I really feel that really good, and the fact that he just continually keeps going and managed to continually keep coming back. I think him for me,
Chris Spieler.
I
like him.
Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. And OG. An original that continually adapted to stay relevant to the sport that he was competing
even now, if you're watching the stuff that he gets up to now.
Totally. And he played games and he did other stuff outside. It's great to train in the gym and do stuff, but you need to do stuff outside of it. It doesn't have to be doing a CrossFit comp. It doesn't, it doesn't have to be playing football, because it's a great supplement to another sport. But it's go out and do stuff. I'll go skateboarding. Never tried it. Go skateboarding, give it a go. Go kayaking, go whitewater rafting, go climb a mountain, go put it to use, do things. Because that's the whole point of hopefully getting fit. I mean, the whole point. 90% of people that come in just want to look better naked. Which I'm one of them. But I also want to get stronger, and I also want to do other stuff outside of it for as long as I possibly can. So, for a certain demographic, it's looking good naked, but use that fitness. And then for another demographic, which I'm not quite in yet because I'm not that old, but it's being able to get off the toilet.
True.
All right. It's being, I want, when I'm 90, if I make it that far, probably not. But if I want to be able to get off the toilet on my own, I want to, if I drop something, I want to be able to pick it up. If I fall over, I want to be able to get up myself, And I had a client, a couple of years ago, and if I made him sit on the floor, that was it.
Can't
get up. So we spent months, just working on how to get up off the floor, how to get up and move, and then slowly building that up. And you had a guy that went from not being able to get up to being able to lie down and do a burpee.
Brilliant.
And so for me, that's getting older, that's definitely what I see, and with our older members that come in, it's going, you want to be fit now so that you can actually still be going, and I remember my gran, she got to 103 before she decided to call it quits.
Wow.
You know, she went, I don't want to do this anymore. Fuck you lot, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, but I can remember her being in her 90s, and they converted the pub that she lived near into a housing block, and she went around and borrowed a sledgehammer to go and crack concrete in her garden. And they came round and came round to the garden to see why she borrowed a sledgehammer, and she was there using a sledgehammer to try and smash this bit of concrete she found at 90, 94 I think she was. Yeah. You know, and it's like, wow, I want to still be able to do that. 100%. Keep going. Yeah. And you won't do that if you become inactive. No. You know, and if you leave it too long, every day, fat people, more unhealthy people, you know, more sedent lifestyle.
Yeah.
Sit behind a screen. Wow. Do nothing, and that gets really, really detrimental very, very quickly.
Yeah. That's why this needs to stay relevant.
So it's going to stay relevant. It's just reaching out. Yeah. And it's reaching out going, it's only ever as hard as you make it. Yeah? You know, you come in and Kalsu, 100 thrusters for time with burpees on a minute, all right? It doesn't have to be done at 60 kilos.
No.
All right? Okay? No, you could take, you know, you could have a 90-year-old do that. Yeah. But, you know, like Glassman board, you do it with 2 cans of beans, you know, you do it with a bag of sugar, whatever. Yeah. It's just moving. Yeah. Okay? Or I can do it at 60 and, you know, die. But that's the point, you know. You know, or you have Andrew up in Scotland at Astra, who's, you know, young, dumb, full of cum, and he can do it in fucking 17 minutes. Bang. You know, and it's only by degrees. There's no.
But you got to keep moving.
But you got to keep moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Keep moving. Play games. Do shit. Play board games.
Enjoy yourself, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Wow. Oh, was that too early? I haven't done that.
Really appreciate it.
We should add that in.
This is a new intro. We just do the intro. Welcome to Tiger Chat. Talk. Not going to say this, but do you not think of Frosties when they say Tiger Talk? Because I just think of Frosties. Now I want a bowl of Frosties.
Frosty
Flakes. Yeah, with Tony the Tiger.
No, very well. Thank you, man.
No worries, guys. Thanks for coming down.
Lots of good information.
Awesome. That was awesome. Lovely stuff. Hey, mate, go train. There you go. You're done.